Moving on, Bob, your question now for Senator Panaccio.
All the pundits are saying this is going to be the year of the Democrats. They're going to take the White House and they're going to be controlling Congress. If that turns out to be the case, of what use would a Republican senator be to the state of New Jersey?
Well, it's so pessimistic, Bob. What are we doing here? Why don't we all pack up, have a cup of coffee, and leave? That's not the American way. New Jersey allows 2 senators to go to Washington. We're advocates. And if we're not in the majority, we're in the minority, being the loyal opposition. There's plenty of say that we can do as a Republican senator from New Jersey, regardless who's in power. And last I saw, the problems that we have in this country are not Republican Party problems. They're not Democrat problems. They're people problems. I'm going to Washington with the idea that I can work with both Republicans and Democrats, regardless whether we're in the majority, which I plan on being, or the minority, and get things done.
Mr. Zimmer.
Well, the Senate is an unusual place. One senator, if he or she has a good idea and is persuasive enough, can stand up and change the law right there on the Senate floor. The House is a different kind of animal. It's very rigid in its rules. Seniority is very important, and the partisan advantage is much more pronounced. But I believe that a senator with a clear vision of what this country should do and where we should be going and how we should be more responsible to our taxpayers will be able to make a difference regardless of which party is in the majority.
Time is up. Mr. Sabrin.
I will use my knowledge, my skills, my personality and charm to win over the Democrats. For the very simple reason, the Democrats want more and bigger government. That's the reason we're in the mess that we're in today. Not because of limited government that I've been preaching for 40 years. We need someone to stand up to the big government Democrats, the collectivists. We need someone to say no. We need someone to filibuster. I can filibuster bad legislation that's coming down the pike. And there's a lot of bad legislation that will come down the pike if Mr. Obama wins and the Democrats keep control. We need someone to stand up to them.
Time is up. Senator Panaccio, an opportunity.
Regardless, there are certain perks that are afforded United States senators, Bob. Closure, which is filibustering, takes 60 votes in order to get a particular bill moving. So even in the minority, that becomes a powerful voice. Senatorial courtesy with appointment to judges and things like that in your state, so that all means something.
Bob, you have a follow-up.
Senator, could you give me an example of a time when you worked with Democrats or the opposition to accomplish something?
Sure. One of my proudest bills is called the Kinship Guardian Bill. It's a bill that allows grandparents and loved ones to become foster parents to kids at risk. At one time, they could always manage those children, but they were never given the resources that was necessary in order for them to have their medical needs taken care of, as well as having some of the resources that's necessary just to bring those kids up. Working together now, that's possible. As a matter of fact, I was watching a news program that Hillary Clinton actually commended the program, calling it a model for the rest of the country.
Michael, your question for Mr. Zimmer.
Congressman Zimmer, this question is about illegal immigration. All 3 of you are for building fences on the borders and cracking down going forward, but it's less clear what each of you would do with the 12 million or so immigrants here illegally already, some of them for many years. Your website says that you oppose amnesty for those who broke our laws to come to this country. What should be done about them?
I believe that it was the economic attraction of the United States and the potential for employment here that's responsible for most illegal immigration. If we institute reliable employee identification and serious sanctions against employers who hire illegal immigrants, the force of that magnet will be considerably reduced. And those who came here for the employment will return voluntarily, as many have during this economic downturn. So I don't believe that it's necessary to engage in a wide-scale effort of any other sort. Of course, if anyone who is illegally here is arrested for a crime, I think we should deport them as soon as we possibly can, rather than housing them, as is in the current case, at great expense in our own prisons.
Mr. Sabrin.
I think we generally agree on the issue. There's not too much disagreement. Birthright citizenship is creating a humanitarian crisis in America because women are coming here, giving birth, babies are U.S. citizens by law, and the parents may be deported in the future. That's a crisis of immense proportion. We need to get rid of birthright citizenship. That will reduce the attractiveness of coming to America illegally. And we should not ask, but order people to go back home, get in line, like other people have done, and follow the procedure to come to America. We should empower the states to do something about illegal immigration as well.
Senator Panaccio.
It's a shame that, Michael, we always focus in on things that are more difficult to do in the broader picture and not agree on the things that we can do. There are 12 million illegal immigrants, but there are a number of things that we can do. If you committed a crime, we don't want you here. If you came into this country having committed a crime in your own country, we don't want you here. We want to make sure that you are registered if you're here. We also want to make sure that you're self-sustainable. We can't take on the burden of having you walk into a hospital over and over again and having the American citizens, American taxpayer pay for your health care needs. Can't do that.
Congressman Zimmer, rebuttal opportunity.
Well, I think one point I want to make is that legal immigration made this country great. And what I find offensive about illegal immigration is that individuals who take it upon themselves to break our laws and come across the border are getting in front of the line, in front of people who've been waiting sometimes for years to come here according to our own standards that we've set as a nation. It's a question of respect for law.
Michael, you have a follow-up.
Yes. So, Mr. Zimmer, you say that if we use employer sanctions, some will start to go home to their home countries, but most will stay. And you're basically saying that they will live in the shadows in this country indefinitely. Is that correct?
Well, I disagree with you. I don't think that most will stay. If they come here for employment and the employment isn't there, they won't stay. There's also the benefits from public services, which I think, except for emergency services and other rare exceptions, should not be used or should be diminished in order to reduce the attraction of staying here. But frankly, I do not believe that if the jobs are properly policed, that the people who come here for those jobs will stay.